There has been yet another oil spill, and now it's being reported as the largest oil spill since the Deepwater Horizon spill that happened back in 2010. Now, this spill has occurred due to a fractured pipeline just 40 miles offshore Venice, Louisiana. And the initial reports in early October indicated that the spill was no big deal, not too much oil, don't worry, everybody just stop paying attention. However, new reports indicate that more oil was spilled than previously reported. So the update is that the total volume of oil discharge could be as much as 16,000 barrels or 700,000 gallons rather than the 9,000 barrels initially reported. So it's nowhere near as much as the Deepwater Horizon spill that happened in 2010, but it's still significant. 700,000 gallons of oil due to this fractured pipeline.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk like trying to minimize it. This is 40 miles offshore from Venice, Louisiana. So, and it's the winds are blowing away from shore, so don't sweat it. No, we're sweating it. It's always a big deal when you accidentally spill 700,000 gallons of oil in the water, and some folks will say, okay, look, but come on, be reasonable, guys. This pipe was located 5,000 feet underwater, and it was discharged from a small crack in this jumper pipe letting. Okay, I'm sorry, jumper pipe, and okay, yeah, that's fair. That's why we warn you about leaks, because they're gonna happen. And after they happen, they're gonna say, well, I mean, but it was a small crack, what could we do? Yeah, it led to 700,000 gallons of oil, like destroying whatever's nearby, but it didn't hit humans yet, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
I know, it's just like a complete disregard for marine life, because no one's concerned with that whatsoever. And every report that I've seen on this has been fascinating in that it talks about how no one can see the oil on the surface, so everything's fine. Yeah. It's 700,000 gallons of oil that's just been spilled into the ocean. Or, I mean, really, that's no ramifications whatsoever. And by the way, I just want to be clear about one other thing. You know, the estimates in regard to how many gallons of oil spilled into the ocean have been compiled by the very company that owns this pipeline, okay? So it's LLOG. That's the company that owns it. And so, like, do I trust them? No. I mean, I kind of want to multiply that number by 10.
That's literally what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was gonna interrupt you to say 10x it.
Yeah.
Okay, now we don't know that for sure, but here's what I'm not doing, taking the word of the company who committed the error in the first place. So this is in the Gulf, and when they say stuff like, don't worry, you can't see it, you know you're in trouble. What is that? I don't care if I can't, I also can't see cancer with my eyes. It's still there, right? And that's still a big problem. So it's a preposterous thing to say. And I remember doing the North Dakota Access standoff, Standing Rock, right? The company that was laying that pipeline was like, no, the Native Americans here, the environmental protesters here, and all the other people that are protesting, they're claiming that if we put a pipe underneath the water that at some point it's gonna leak. Of course that's not gonna happen. Then we showed dozens of leaks that had happened already near there with very similar pipelines.
Right.
And then this massive leak now, because you know why? You build giant pipes carrying oil underneath water, at some point they break. And at some point there's a leak. Sometimes it's a small leak, sometimes it's a gigantic leak, and sometimes like this, it does damage. But since you didn't see it with your own eyes, probably this is the last time you'll ever hear of it, and God knows the kind of damage that it did. But it's gonna happen because they leak, that's what happens.
Absolutely.
Support independent media, come join us at the Young Turks, tytnetwork.com/join.